Let me get a drink before this one here. Hold on. Okay.
The suspense is killing me. Yeah.
I just literally have to read it. It's so long. Nokia Solutions and Network Holdings USA Incorporated and its subsidiaries and affiliates, Nokia Solutions and Networks US LLC, Nokia Networks US Sun LLC, Nokia USA Incorporated, SAC Wireless LLC, Eden Rock Services Incorporated, NNUS Sun LLC, SAC Wireless of California Incorporated, and SAC AE Design Group Incorporated. Oh, that's it. Sorry. There was a response. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. And a responsible person.
Did you guys catch all that? Hit it.
Welcome to Waiver Watch episode 17 on March 8th, 2020. We are 107 Waivers, and each week we bring to you some of the most interesting waivers approved by the FAA in the weeks prior. And today we have some phenomenal record-setting news, not only in waiver totals, but something in the blooper reel for later. This is
quite an episode. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is an FAA record week, but we're also going to talk about speed and a little bit of drone delivery.
That's
some nuances there. Should we just get into it with totals?
Let's jump right into it. Hit us with the waiver totals for the week.
All right, so 79 total. We'll just say it right off the bat. That is a huge, huge number by the FAA. Their previous record was like 59. Yeah, 59 waivers. So I don't know what it was this week. Maybe the Red Bull or the Spring Fever or whatever.
I think so. So. We did have an extra.
We had 70.
Hold on. Whoa. We had an extra day in February.
Right? They were working hard on Leap Day.
That's right. All right. Anyways, waiver totals.
70,
blow us away.
Yeah, 70 daylight ops waivers, big numbers there. And then 4 for ops over human beings, 10739A. Those were all pair 0 Mavics. And then 5 for operational limitations altitude, 10751 Bravo. For a total of 79.
79. Whoa. It's so interesting, too, that it's been very consistent that it's ops over people, night waivers, and 107.51. This is like a new really thing for 2020. Is like everyone wants to fly higher than 400 feet now. So
yeah,
super interesting.
I know it is. It's not. I mean, a lot of it was the mines, the Freeport, McMoran stuff, but there's also, I'd say, like 50% of them that are just random. They're just kind of all over the place, golf courses and event locations and stuff like that. So
right,
kind of cool.
So with amazing waiver totals,
huh?
let's talk about amazing speed. So this is from the waiver vault because the only thing that was cool this week was 70 night waivers approved. Otherwise, it's just kind of a normal week, nothing too crazy in the waiver approved. So we went back and we dug into the waiver vault 107W 2017-02159. This is Lockheed Martin speed waiver. So go ahead and why don't you just kind of kick us off with some of the provisions, and I'll throw a little comment in here.
Yeah, well, so this waiver's still effective, actually. So it is old, but maybe they're still flying around with this thing. Lockheed got approval to fly this King Cat. We'll touch on that in a second, but up to 250 miles an hour. It's crazy. So nothing comes up when you look for Lockheed Martin King Cat. Unfortunately, it's probably some top secret project. I don't know, but if you
semi-top secret because they gave us the name.
Well, this is back in the day when the FAA put probably more information than they had to in waivers, which is good for us. But So, anyways, if you look up the King Cat, though, there is like a big model aircraft that's named King Cat, and I guess I don't know. this picture, I'm not sure if this is a real military aircraft or not. Like something that was just designed based on a real aircraft.
Yeah.
I don't actually know the answer to that, but
yeah.
But anyways, it's a large jet-powered RC aircraft. So best guess is that Lockheed just bought one of these and sort of
decked it out.
Built it from the ground up to this decked out high-speed unmanned aircraft.
And so why don't you tell us what is the max that this thing can go up to for this waiver?
Yeah. Well, 250 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Smoking. So
yeah.
What was it? Our wind turbine episode where we're talking about tips of the wind turbine. This is definitely faster than that. So supercar with some turbo is probably what this is.
Right.
This is for. Right. So 217 knots, 250 miles an hour. Cruising.
Which is actually like that's 250 knots. I was going to say that's actually the speed limit for manned aircraft, but I think it's 250 knots, not miles an hour.
Yeah.
Under, 10,000 feet or whatever. So,
right.
Anyways, a couple other waiver provisions. So, they are restricted to a specific spot. And interestingly enough, specific pilots. So it actually says that, not just any pilot, but the specific pilots, named in the application. Kind of interesting. I suppose it takes a pretty skilled pilot to fly at 250 miles an hour.
Right.
The aircraft has to be in configuration control, so no changing any parts on it. Whatever they submitted has to stay that way, which is interesting. Controlled access location, probably not surprising there, because if this thing had a failure, you can imagine it would not be good at 250 miles an hour. So it's controlled access, all cleared out for non-participating humans, and they do require NOTAM. Yep. So kind of just some interesting provisions that you don't see these days.
Yeah. So so if you look up the restricted area, it's 54 FD is the airport name. So it's a private airport owned by Lockheed Martin Missile and Fire. So if you just go.
You know what? I bet I know what this is for then. You go first though.
So we can kind of go. Do you remember when we submitted a speed waiver before 107 waivers even existed? We did. I think this was the waiver that we were looking at, and we put in 254 miles an hour because we wanted to beat the speed waiver of Lockheed Martin. Do you remember?
Right.
So
I do.
So, and I remember looking.
Young idiots we were.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, and we were already doing 107 waiver type stuff back then, and we're like, okay, it's restricted access because it's a private airport, and like. So we picked a golf course to do our speed waiver at, and we're like, we're going to have a perimeter and all this and that and whatever. I thought we were pretty good.
A closed golf course, yeah.
Closed golf course,
shut down.
Yes.
So,
yes. Owned by the university, right?
Yep.
So, yeah. But anyways, right. So this is like, even though it was the waiver vault, we've already looked at this thing like back when it first came out. So 28. Yeah. Well, we looked at it in 2018, but. So.
Well, and that's why. So I think we're gonna have to dig that up.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel. We're gonna maybe not 250 miles an hour, but to be the second person only to get this waiver, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, so for sure.
Maybe a challenge, 107 waivers challenge.
So, anyways, I kind of derailed your thoughts there. What else were you gonna add to that?
Oh, well, yeah, I was gonna say, okay, so the location is this missile facility, right? So I bet that this was used to practice targeting or something like that for missiles, right? Kind of like a dummy or a decoy.
Oh. Well,
so they'd zip it past like a missile firing and then try and target it or something like that.
Yeah, so I'm not really quite sure exactly what this is. Would this really be a missile range? I don't think it is.
Well, maybe, or targeting, I guess I don't know, missiles, but practice targeting, shooting, simulated shooting them. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just throwing it out there.
So it's just to the southeast, more east than anything, of Orlando International. It's very close. It's below their airspace, but yeah.
Okay. Well.
So, anyways.
That's what we do. Just guess at things. Right?
We are probably right on some accounts, right? So super interesting waiver nonetheless. And like, it reminded me of what we were trying to do with that speed quad, like build that thing up.
I still have that thing.
It's like a toothpick frame. You wouldn't let me fly it because I wasn't trained enough, right? That was when I first started doing FPV. And you're like, there's no way, I'm coming off of DJI stuff. I'm like, oh, I can fly FPV, no big deal, right? So,
That's right.
So
well, what we got that thing, we're going to incriminate ourselves here, but we did get that thing. I think it was like 130. Do you remember how fast we actually got that thing going?
I don't know. It's hard to officially say, because we didn't have calibrated measuring devices. So I believe we were underneath the legal limits of Part 107.
It was under hobby rules. This was before,
Let's just say it sounded fast. It sounded like it was going over 100 miles an hour.
Yeah. But I think we should try and get this waiver because we actually could do some ops, I think, that require it. So fun.
For sure.
Let's stick that one back up.
So yeah, love that little reminisce there. I was like, hey, I remember this one. So yeah.
All right, let's move on to drone delivery. Something we know a thing or two about.
Yeah. So good old North Dakota, right? So a good story here as well. So drone delivery, there was Zing had kind of published something. Jakey got wind of it on LinkedIn, made some comments. And so we just decided to kind of throw this in there as well. So the drone delivery nuances, right? If you want to be an Amazon or Google Wing, you're going to have to get a Part 135 air carrier to do drone delivery at scale. And this is because when they wrote the 107 rules, they did not allow for package delivery with waivered operations. So you can do line of sight, and it's like really hard to actually read into the rules and find this. Like if you just read the rules straight up, it will say nothing about drone delivery. But if you start digging into the final rule and a bunch of there's Air Circular 107-2 that starts mentioning some things, but it's all basically line of sight, and you can't waive certain provisions or certain regulations because of it, and so they allow for de minimis amounts of property to be transferred for compensation is what some of the viewpoint or some of the wording in there. So what do you got to add there, Jakey?
So it's specifically 107.205. So that's the list of waivers that you can, regulations that you can waive. It goes through the list of them, and you can waive 107.31 to do, BVLOS. And that can be many different forms, right? It can be daisy chain, where you're flying down a path of visual observers, or it could be actual, like, technically mitigated BVLOS, where nobody sees it, it's radars or whatever. But they included a sentence: no waiver of this provision will be issued to allow for carriage of property, yada, yada, yada. So essentially, like Brent said, you can't waive that regulation to do delivery. So therefore, it all has to be visualized.
There's also, also in that, not in that specific line there, but in the final rule, you cannot waive from moving vehicles as well. So you can't do drone delivery from moving vehicles. So like picture like FedEx and UPS, there were some videos out there where they were launching from the top of the van. You can't do that either. So there's, and it's really hard. You have to dig so deep to find all these nuances. And then even then you're still like kind of second guessing yourself, like, can I do this or can I not? But
yeah.
So
what do you think about VLOS delivery? Is there hidden value there that people
I think so. I think that you should be doing both paths. I think that you should definitely be going 135 cert, but I think that you also should be doing 107 visual line of sight operations on the regular, because why delay learning the customer interactions, educating the public, exercising your equipment, right? Because if you're going to get 135, you're going to have type cert aircraft, you're going to need hours. So you should be running drone delivery VLOS to get those hours, because you're killing two birds with one stone. Number one, you're testing your equipment in a less risk environment by keeping it line of sight. You're interacting with customers, so then you're going to improve your product. so that when you do have 135, you don't have to figure out all this stuff, because it's going to be much more expensive to figure out where the shortcomings are in drone delivery if you're doing 135. You're going to be, more technology. It's just added layer of complexity. So I really do think that, we should see more 107, straight up 107 drone deliveries, even with these big companies. And, speaking to some experience, right? Was it 2018 when we did line of sight delivery at a golf course in North Dakota with Flytrex. So I was the pilot for that. We had the Fargo FISDO come up. They, did their little ramp check. We were all good. So that was nice. But we were physically executing drone delivery on a golf course. And it was, it was really cool. And people actually liked it. You would think that a golf course is a quiet area and it's, not, you shouldn't get disturbed and all that. But the golfers on the course, they loved it. And they barely even knew it was there, because once you get up to altitude, you can't really hear drones. So, but yeah, so that's my thoughts. What do you think, Jakey? What do you think about 107 drone delivery?
Yeah, I think, I think there's just some niche markets there that you really have to find out. I mean, we know that Disney is kind of, just as an example, like Disney is kind of pretty, I'd say, like anti-drone. They just are concerned about safety at this point. But if you just think about that situation, there's, visual line of sight, maybe you can fly 3/4 of a mile away. Like, just think of how many people are within 3/4 of a mile that might want some food, drink, whatever it is.
Right.
So maybe not the Disney park, but just those types of examples, like county fairs, like stuff like that, where maybe you can take advantage of this where there's a lot of people in a tight space. And okay, of course that requires now, parachutes and stuff like that, but those are all things that are starting to become a little more normalized as well, like we see with Pair Zeros. So
the struggle there, though, right, is that now you have an aircraft plus you have some weight, and then the struggles that we're having with kinetic energy, right? So so could you even get a parachute and drone delivery in the same thing because this configuration is, right, what drone's out there? You're gonna have to do ASTM testing. So someone's got to spend some money to prove that their parachute or their whatever system altogether, it's parachute, some airbags, some foam corners on all the sharp things, whatever, that might be a little bit difficult to sneak through. I know that the FAA is a little bit risk adverse. They don't want to assume any risk. So they might just say straight up no. So,
well, the other path, I think, so let's talk about the 135 for a second. So I think there could be a little misconception that, like, just go get 135 and you're good. But really, that's only like maybe one of the 4 parts you need, or maybe more. Right. But
congratulations, you filled out the paperwork to start going in the right direction, right?
135 is just like the operating certificate, just like you get your remote pilot certificate. It's just a certificate for the company. There's policies, roles in place, etc. But you need a type certified aircraft. Okay, that's a whole nother process. Then you also need exemptions to fly beyond visual line of sight, to exempt maybe Part 61 requirements and so on. So
the rabbit hole gets very deep, very quick, right?
It's a very tight nest of regulations that you got to navigate through. So it's a very interesting part of the industry. A lot of money going into it. Amazon, Google, you name it. But it's kind of cool. So a lot of nuances. So be careful out there as you're
and
going
then
down that path.
And real quick side tangent, that whole was it Yale that had the Kiki Air or something, right?
Yeah, I saw that.
So
they got shut down so fast.
Right. So, but I think it's good though. Hopefully they just get kind of a slap on the wrist and that's it, because I think that kind of pushes innovation, right? Like, somebody kind of maybe bent the rules a little bit. Their intent wasn't to hurt anyone or break laws, but it gets people talking, right? And then like, hey, we need to do something about this. Like, why are we waiting? Like, what can we do now in the meantime? So,
Right.
So,
Kiki
Air. So now let's hit that. Let's wrap up that talk there for a little bit, but let's hit the blooper reel. So,
all right.
another record setting.
Yeah. So I don't even know how I found this. Just one of those deals where you're like scrolling through the waiver table. You know,
Yeah.
what else do you do on a evening?
Right.
Scroll through the waiver table.
Right. So, Jakey, why don't you hit us with the world's longest issue 2 name?
Yeah.
Why don't you start rattling that bad boy off?
So, let me get a drink before this one here. Hold on. Okay.
The suspense is killing me. Yeah.
I just literally have to read it. It's so long. Nokia Solutions and Network Holdings USA Incorporated and its subsidiaries and affiliates, Nokia Solutions and Networks US LLC, Nokia Networks US Sun LLC, Nokia USA Incorporated, SAC Wireless LLC, Eden Rock Services Incorporated, NNUS Sun LLC, SAC Wireless of California Incorporated, and SAC AE Design Group Incorporated. Oh, that's it. Sorry. There was a response. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. And a responsible person.
Did you guys catch all that? Here, let me do it again.
So basically, at the end of the day, Nokia and a bunch of other subsidiaries wanted to apply for a waiver. I bet a lawyer wrote this.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Nokia and all their subsidiaries.
Yep. And this is a 2017 waiver.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And the best part, it's a night waiver. It's not even like a good waiver. It's just a night waiver. Just daylight ops.
Yeah. I'm surprised that in Drone Zone that the character field is even that long to fill all of that in.
Oh, good point. Yeah, that is long.
But
some of those boxes have like 10,000 character counts. So
right,
I guess.
So issue 2, crazy, huh? So that's that's the Part 107 account name field. Is that issue 2 name? Right. So
right.
Maybe they should shorten it to 100 letters. 50.
We should have counted how many are in here. I didn't actually do that. But
yeah, a lot. Way too many to count.
It's a lot. Okay, so that's our little blooper for the week. I think we're gonna combine all these little bloopers into a 2020 blooper reel. That'll be good.
Yeah. So, kind of to wrap it up for the week, we had amazing weekly waiver totals, record setting, 79 waivers. We went over the drone delivery, and then also what was the last one there? It was the Lockheed Martin speed waiver.
Yeah, the only one ever.
Gets me
proof of speed.
Gets me excited. We should probably revamp ours. I bet you our new documentation could probably get us a long ways with that.
Yeah, I think ours just got straight or we got an R5, didn't we?
I'll have to dig it.
We'll catch up with this one next week. How about that? We'll dig it up and we'll do a little take 2 on it next week. Yeah,
absolutely.
Be good.
So that's it for episode 17. Until next time.
Fly safe.
Take care.